Okay, as soon as I get back home, business partner call. Brother, somebody robbed the apartment. I'm like, man, what? So we're going for a walk. Got about 30 minutes till we're at our destination, but I was thinking about this story from my past, and I think I'm gonna title this video or like bad CEOs and why you don't want to be one. And essentially because it could cost you $250,000. But my definition of a bad CEO is someone that essentially wants control over someone for little to nothing. And this is the point in your business where you begin to start needing other people and you start hiring. To me, it's akin to like a slave master, but a bad slave master at that. And I see this now with businesses that I frequent and even people that I know. They hire bad talent. And the reason they hire bad talent, and I'm going to get into a really good story. The reason they hire bad talent is because, number one, they don't want to pay. When you don't want to pay someone, essentially like top dollar, you're always going to get bad talent. And bad talent just means you're pretty much just going to end up complaining about this person. And I see this time and time again. These CEOs, they're bad CEOs, bad business owners. They hire bad talent. They want to pay them minimum. Then they want to keep complaining and putting all of the blame on the employee. When in reality, the problem is the business owner. It's never the employee. The employee can only be as good as you are. As good as you can teach them, as good as you paid them. So anyway, let me get to the story. Back with the cell phones, when I was hustling the cell phones, me and my business partner, we had like split up for a little while, and I had went back to working, and he essentially like. I was like going through a divorce with his wife or whatever, and ended up moving out. And this is when he went like downtown, and he hit me up. He was like, trying to get me to come back, work in the business or whatever. So of course I'm down. It beats working at a fucking job delivering auto parts. And now when I come around, he has this like new group of people around, new friends, new associates, and I'm kind of confused because I'm used to it just being him. And essentially, he was trying to get me to come in to the business and play the role of like a number two. Almost like a COO, operations, on the lowest level though. So, I would, come in and do my thing. But he also had this other guy that he was like kind of grooming, or almost like kind of trying to pit us together. This was never like stated, but it just seemed that way. It just seemed like, the offer he was presenting to me was the same offer that he was presenting to the other dude, which I had no issue with. As long as I'm getting paid, like, I'm fine. And, I was getting paid, but the other guy, he had an issue. Now, he never stated that, but you can kind of tell, like, in his energy, he had an issue with that. Almost like, he was promised something and now it's being given away. But again, I don't be on that. I'm only here for the money. So I think probably like a week or two go by, and my business partner, he went out of town. So We're gonna call him Red. I think that was his name or nickname. We're gonna call him Red. Red's job was basically to go out and get phones, then bring them to me while the business partner was out of town. And he did that. All of that stuff seemed cool. Then they went on for like a week or two till business partner came back. Then business partner came back, and this whole time I'm starting to skip. So Red ended up getting a new car. That's the direction I'm gonna take in this story. Red got a new car, and one night they all went out to celebrate. Now, I personally didn't like Red at all. He was like a big funny dude, like on some like feminine type stuff. Like he was like that. And I don't play those games. But my point is, I didn't care for the dude. He just had bad energy. You could tell that off top. So they went out to celebrate Red getting a new car. And I went home. So business partner had the apartment in downtown. I would go there like early in the morning, 7 in the morning, and we'd be there all day, probably like 12 hours. So I went home after, the day was over, whatever, and business partner called. He was like, hey, come to Hooters. I'm like, man, I'm not going to no Hooters. Because number one, I don't even eat Hooters. He was like, come on, bro, come on. He was like, Red got a new car. And it's just too many red flags. Number one, I don't like Hooters. Number two, I don't like fucking Red. And number three, y'all would never believe what type of car he got. This is a big, like, dude. He's like 6'5", 250. But I'm going to tell y'all the car at the end. So keep listening, keep watching. So they basically forced me to go. And I had took so much time going back and forth about how I'm not going. By the time I got to Hooters, they were leaving. Like literally as soon as I got there, they're like, oh, dinner's over. And everybody left. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Okay, as soon as I get back home, business partner called. Brother, somebody robbed the apartment. I'm like, man, what? Somebody robbed the apartment. He's like, come quick, essentially. So I zoomed downtown. Man, this dude, he had to have about, and we had been telling him he needed to get off some of the merchandise, but he had been stocking it because he wanted like a big like lump sum payday or whatever. He had to have at least $250,000, so probably a little bit over $3,000 worth of merchandise, memory cards, laptops, iPhones, Galaxy phones, all of that shit. Because dudes was dropping off merchandise like every morning, like $50K, $100K worth of merchandise, and he had never got off of it. So they cleared out that whole fucking apartment. Not the whole apartment. He basically had this closet where all of the merchandise go. They cleared out that whole closet. So he called the police. And I think the regular cops came to take like a report. And the next day, the detectives came. So me, him, Red, his cousin Mello, we all at the apartment. you know, waiting for the cops to get there. You know, I don't know much. And I think it was a female detective. This what makes this story even funnier. So she was like, why were y'all away from the apartment? And he was like, we went to go celebrate him getting a car. She was like, what type of car? He was like, a Kia Soul. Man, the first thing this lady said made me know I'm not crazy. I'm a car person, if y'all ain't already picked that up. She was like, who the fuck goes out to celebrate a Kia Soul? And I couldn't do nothing but laugh, because I'm like, just for fucking going out to celebrate a Kia Soul, you deserve that shit. That's like the dumbest shit on earth. It's a fucking Kia Soul. Like, I would cry if I had that car. So, anyway, man, this dude would not let that shit go. Business partner. What, like, he latched on to that shit. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, he became obsessed. And me, I don't know how to respond in that situation. I probably just have to let that shit go. But this dude became obsessed. Like, everything pretty much became about finding out who did that shit. And it was just too many ways to go. And I learned a long time ago, that's why I don't have friends like that. Like, especially friends that I don't trust and I don't know. And just friends in general are inviting a lot of people to my house. So, I mean, this dude, he's going up and down different cities, this and that. Red, you know, helping look. This other guy that comes every morning, we're gonna call him Mr. X. Mr. X, he helping look, trying to, you know, pull his resources. So they say. And what happened? So I suspected Red. A lot of shit just was not making sense. Number one, they didn't break in the house. They had a key. And too many people had access to his keys into that apartment, so they could have just copied the key. Which is what happened. So this one guy who would come every morning, this white dude. See, niggas in down, when you hustling and you make your way downtown, like you somehow graduated to down, I'm talking about down, maybe all downtowns are like this, but specifically downtown Dallas, you graduated. Like, niggas out there are slick. They didn't make it downtown for no reason. Like, scamming, scheming, untrustworthy ass motherfuckers. This dude showed up every morning, same time, delivering phones, and he just stopped showing up. So that's red flag. So business partner is thinking it's him. Then, next thing you know, my boy Red, he go out of town. He go to Vegas. Like 3 days into the incident, he's in Vegas. Which, you know, seems fishy. Like, you know, why are you in Vegas and you supposed to be trying to help this man find this shit? So there used to be this app, well, still an app, but it was called like Spoof Card or some shit like that. And you basically can call someone's phone but have it show someone else's number. So let's say I had your mom's number and I called your phone. I could make your phone show that your mom is calling. Like, it will pull up her contact. So I'm like, let's try this. Now, mind you, Red and Mr. X are not even supposed to know each other. They're not aware that each other exists. So I'm like, let's do this. Let's spoof the number, and we're gonna call Mr. X from Red's number. So when Mr. X get a phone call on his phone, it should say Red. So we did that. The phone rang 2 times. And Mr. X said, "What's up, bro?" Man, like, I don't even know how to explain that, like, that moment, but I don't know, it was just crazy. Like that particular moment. Number one, because, you know, business partner finally had closure on who did the shit. But it was just crazy because what they did was like so audacious. Like, you never would have thought in a million years that somebody would do no shit like that, and especially somebody that you know. So after a business partner found that out, you know, I think he gave Red up to the police, but honestly, like, they don't even really do nothing in the cell phone space, because first of all, that's a gray area. It's not like you have a storefront. They don't look at you like, you know, tax-paying citizens. Police are for tax-paying citizens, and you know, they look at this shit damn near like you a drug dealer. So they ain't really do much about it. And business partner, I think he had a gun or ended up getting a gun, but he wasn't built like that. So he essentially just like let that shit slide. And me, I was wishing I seen Big Red. I'm not 6'5" or nothing, but I got some hands for his ass. Not even because he stole the stuff, just because I always knew from day one, the first day I met that dude, that he was a snake. But even me, I knew it was a snake, but I would never imagine him doing no shit like that. And we're 17 minutes into the video, and y'all like, I thought this video was about being a bad CEO. It is, because what happens when you underpay people and you play games, people become disgruntled and entitled. And in reality, I think that Red dude was both. I don't think he was smart enough to put that shit together. That was that Mr. X guy. But he was in the house and close enough to make sure the shit went through. All because I think there was a turning point where he just felt like he was tolerating like too much disrespect, and that shit just started building up, and he was like, you know what, fuck it. If he not basically gonna give me what I deserve, I'm gonna just take it. Now, it's a little bit hard for people to take from your business, especially when you're not dealing like with cash and merchandise. But people will get entitled and try to do slick shit. So, best thing to take from this video is, if you're at the point where you know you're trying to hire people, don't be no bad CEO, man. Pay people what they worth. You gotta pay for talent. You gotta pay for good people. And if a person know they possess talent and they know deep down they're a good person, they're definitely gonna want to be compensated for it. So take care of your people, man. If y'all, you know, found the story at least entertaining, I got a bunch of stories from my past. Matter of fact, the first time we got robbed. But yeah, if y'all If y'all want to hear more stories like that, comment first time we got robbed, and I'll share that story. But yeah, like this video, comment first time we got robbed, I'll share that story. Also subscribe, share with your friends. Thanks for watching.